My name's Don.
And I'm Peter.
And we are two plebs talking about... California.
This week in the DPRC.
Because
California does not fail to provide.
I think I got to give the same preface announcement I did last week. Just tone it down a little, California.
Well, they did.
That's true. We did only have 5 articles this week.
As opposed to a dozen.
Right.
So, okay, they toned it down a little bit for us.
That's true. It did take us less time to get through them this week than it did last week, but still...
Almost as much laughter, but less time.
Right. Though, I think the reality here is we sort of... we will always be subject to California will do more stupid shit than we find.
Right.
So...
Yeah, I'm sure there's more stupid stuff that we haven't found.
Oh, God, always. Anyway, under that premise, stupid shit, California, we've got ourselves a Assemblywoman.
Yes.
And she's pretty amazing.
She is. The hypocrisy is strong with this one.
Oh, let's not showbiz ourselves here. So,
come on.
She was a big part of the Me Too movement, right?
She was a big part of the Me Too movement. She's been published in magazines as the silence breaker.
Right.
As a part of number, she's one of the silence breakers.
Campaigned hard.
Got all kinds of sexual harassment legislation pushed through.
Right.
She's on the spear tip.
Yeah. Just the tip.
Just the tip.
Anyway, but she, anyone who has been accused of sexual assault has been you need to stand down now.
Yes, you need to step down immediately upon receiving a charge of sexual assault.
Right, listen and believe, Me Too.
Listen and believe, Me Too. The whole shebang, the whole 9 yards.
Right up until
she got accused herself.
Yeah, until somebody went, that bitch has this place spin the bottle in her hotel room.
Yeah,
like it's part of the job.
Yeah.
And then
another guy was like, yeah, she went grabbing up on my junk at a baseball game.
Right.
Trying to get shit going.
Right. So, the response to that, you would think, would be, well, then I guess I need to step down. But to that earlier point about hypocrisy, not really.
Nope. Her response is like, nope, not stepping down. She's on unpaid leave currently while they're investigating.
That's true.
But that wasn't her choice.
No.
And so she's not going to step down. She's fighting it every step of the way, and she plans to keep her job while she's fighting.
Yeah.
Those men who have accused her need to resign and step away from their jobs now because they've accused her.
According to her, by the way.
According to her.
Which is the extra awesome part of this. Like, the level of hypocrisy and mental gymnastics to even make that claim.
Nope. Yeah. Back
I am impressed.
Back to everybody who's always been crying all over the media about victim blaming. Here you go. There's a good example of it.
Right. But
they're lying. They need to be punished for lying about me.
Exactly. And by the way, if you can possibly come up with a justification for this that isn't either her being crazy as shit or just a man-hater, I'd love to hear it.
Right.
But I don't think those options are available.
No, it's just a standard thing of like, well, I'm going to say and do all these things, but they don't apply to me.
Mm-hmm. So
she doesn't have to be a man-hater to have that idea.
Well, no, but look how this works, right? Because when it's women accusing men, it's get out. When it's men accusing women, it's like, yeah, you're liars.
Yeah, you're lying. That can't be true because all men only think about sex, and if a woman came on to you, you'd just want it.
Right. So,
So they're obviously lying.
Exactly. And, this is the wide-scale justification.
Right. Well,
to be fair, I don't know that it's hers.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it's hers, but the whole media spin on everything is that men are disgusting animals who only think about having sex and making money.
Exactly.
Or
having sex with money.
And avoiding responsibilities. Men are just evil.
Right.
So, when a woman makes the claim that a man has done something horrible, we are to listen, believe, and react accordingly. And if a man makes the same claim of a woman, he's lying to get something out of it.
Yeah, clearly. I mean, what else could possibly make sense?
Nothing. Nothing else can make sense. Men are just evil.
Exactly. So, like I said, I'd like to hear a justification that's not man-hate or just her being balls-ass crazy. And, by the way, I don't want to preclude or minimize the possibility that she could just be nuts. I understand where we are and that the likelihood that she is just balls-ass crazy is pretty high.
Well, it's California. By 2 weeks, accept those people.
Yeah. We promote those people.
We do.
Right? Like, they're,
After all, she's an Assemblywoman.
I was going to say, that talk about who's about to become our next governor a little while back, like, I'm just saying, we're like, are you batshit crazy? No? Then not you.
Right? It's like, you're not qualified. Mental instability is a requirement around here.
Pretty much. I mean, you need to, and by the way, look at the suggestion of who it is that we're following in polls. It's how progressive nutty can you get? And I think this is just her push that direction, right?
Yeah.
So, progressive nutbag, men are evil, SJW feminist bullshit. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. White cisgendered males are all evil.
Right. And look, I mean,
So,
hey, that's her crazy-ass prerogative, and as a prime example of why California's nuts, I don't hear people calling for her to resign.
nope.
In fact, the LA Times that has the article that I'll link on this is like, well, I'm just saying this happened. Now go look at, like, their articles about Roy Moore, right?
Right.
Yeah, someone accused you, you're a terrible person, get out.
Right. Just get out. Step the fuck down, disappear.
Right.
Because you're obviously guilty and you get the fuck out.
Right.
Zero evidence, zero anything. Even when you catch some of the accusers in lies.
Now, by the way, there is a relevant timeline there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, when the Roy Moore scandal first broke, nobody had any evidence about anything. You just had like 2 or 3 people accusing him.
Right, but the whole thing is even when that evidence did come out, they didn't change their tune.
Well, so,
At all.
look, I don't really want to get into whether or not Roy Moore would be guilty, whatever.
Right.
My point here is, when they had nothing but a couple of accusations, it was Roy Moore is literally Hitler, oh my God.
Right.
Well, just to be clear, that's what we have now.
Yeah.
And yet, that's not what we're getting.
No, because it's a woman.
Right. So,
Because women are not evil. They are to be put on a pedestal and admired above all things.
right. And, I mean, look.
It sounds like a privilege to me.
We already did the feminism episode, dude.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm just talking about the, people needing to, recognize their privilege. Because that's the thing. We haven't covered that one.
But, Mom. Anyway. So, look. So, this crazy bitch, by the way, it not only is doing this wide variety of crap that she's doing, but she is doing it while still campaigning that people step down the moment they're accused, by the way.
Right.
So, like, she got put on leave of absence and then, like, the next day put out a press release that was like, someone in the Senate who has been accused of sexual harassment needs to step down without question and do so immediately, which is amazing.
Oh, I know. Actually, the hypocrisy is strong with this one.
Right?
I'm not going to do it myself, but you need to.
Right.
Because you have a wang.
There it is.
And that would be the difference.
Well, I'm sure the other difference is, yeah, but I know it was okay. Everything I did was okay. And this is this is your philosopher king kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So, like, well, I know that I am to be trusted, but I don't know that you are to be trusted. Therefore, as your philosopher king, it doesn't matter what people accuse me of, because I know. And I am the one who rules thereby.
Right.
That person's terrible. Right? And it's what we get a lot, right? And it doesn't matter how often we point out the hypocrisy or the stupidity or anything like that. Like, I'm willing to lay money on the table right now, not against you, stop it, that this woman gets reelected, right?
Oh, probably.
Unless she goes to jail, this woman gets reelected.
Right.
Because that's what we do here.
Right. Well, it's California.
Right. And consequences be damned.
Right.
Just like in Los Angeles.
No, it's a woman. They get a free pass.
Well,
She didn't do it. She said she didn't do it. We just believe her. Listen and believe.
very true.
We are still listening and believing a woman. Except that it's a different story. She's saying, no, I didn't do those evil things.
Okay, fair enough.
So, no, really, it's not really a change. It's that I think we just got bamboozled to think it was a change. It's like, no, they're listening and believing. She said, no, it didn't happen. It works for her, not Trump.
Well, yeah. But, that's the way that we do things. And in the same general premise of how we do things like that, where it doesn't matter... what the results are. It doesn't matter. Right? We've just decided that this is acceptable, therefore we're going to do it. LA's got this kind of big homeless problem.
Right.
And, by the way,
Yep.
apparently, it's growing a lot.
A lot. Because, they California, being California, put in a number of tax measures.
Well,
And
among other things, yeah.
right. And these tax measures were specifically to generate money for the homeless problem in LA.
Yeah.
They're making the rest of the state pay for the homeless in LA. Not the homeless through the whole state, just specifically in LA.
Well, that's debatable.
That's bullshit.
Well, I understand, but that's debatable, right? So they, it depends on how much you want to examine the laws made, right? Because what we did is we made a law to help ease homelessness throughout California, and then we based funds distributions on population density.
So LA.
And San Francisco. Because by the method of distribution, effectively you had to be X, percentage of the population of the state to even get it. And there's only 4 places in the whole state that applies to, and
So California, and it's New California that's paying for it?
pretty much.
Yeah.
Let's be fair here. Los Angeles is helping to pay for this too. They're just getting their problem subsidized by the rest of the state, which is a very California thing to do, right?
Right, because they're just getting our taxes subsidized by the rest of the country.
Exactly.
So it's California method.
Exactly. So, you end up with this situation where, what did they do? They said, hey, everybody come pay for this. By the way, we know that it's going to cost this money, X amount to solve the homeless problem, which was about $150 million.
Mm-hmm.
And then and I think per 10-year period, it was $150 million, if I remember correctly. Might have been per year. Who knows with this state? They throw money at everything.
Right.
But regardless, per, X timeline, it's going to take $150 million.
Right.
And they said, that's going to solve the homeless problem, right?
Yes, there's no more homeless problem because those taxes got put in place.
Right. Well, that's the amount of money that's going to be needed to solve the homeless problem, right? And so, as we often do in California, we went, yeah, that sounds good.
Right.
Well,
sounds good. We want to take care of our homeless.
You, the experts, have told us what it would take to solve this homeless problem. Therefore, we know that it will take $150 million. Now, look, dickheads like me went, look, the government always underestimates the original cost of a program. It always ends up costing more. They're never really effective. They never achieve their goals. They just ask for more money. And what did we get told?
And it usually exacerbates the problem in question that they're trying to fix.
Right. As often as not. And what did we get told? Oh,
not
you're
this
an idiot.
time.
The expert said, and more importantly, give me one example where that happened. And then all of us went, well, every government program. And then what we got told was, well, nuh-uh, because that's the way that this works.
No, because my feels...
Yeah, usually, right? Well, shouldn't we do something to help them? As though that, doing something is inherently good.
Yes, we should do something good or something adequate.
Why would that be relevant?
Or something effective.
Oh, that's just silliness. We can't be doing that.
No.
And on the exact lines of how much we cannot be doing that is they went back and they had 2 separate assessments done of what they would need to fix the problem. Right? And so what they found out is that either, depending on whom it is that you're talking to, we need an additional $70 million.
Yep.
Or we need an additional $220 million.
Right.
Either way.
Either way.
Right.
More money because they underestimated.
Yeah. And for some reason, this is not fixing the homeless problem. In fact, it just keeps getting worse, no matter how much money we throw at it.
Yeah, we throw more money at it and we get more homeless.
Yeah, it's weird.
Kind of like that whole back to exacerbating the problem that they're trying to fix.
No. This was going to happen anyway.
Right.
That's what they'll tell you, right?
Right. This was going to happen anyway.
And
because it's the homeless from other states that have flocked to California going, they're giving us free shit.
No. That is silliness. This was going to happen anyway. Right? Just imagine how bad this would be if the government wasn't giving away all this free shit to homeless people.
Right.
Because there would be the same number of homeless people.
Without stuff.
Supposedly. But they wouldn't have stuff.
Right. But somehow the homeless population has been growing exponentially, and there's not enough stuff to go around.
Oh, weird. It's almost like if you incentivize people by giving them shit, they show up. But no, not that.
No,
because again, this would have happened anyway, right?
The Hobo Railroad doesn't exist.
No, not at all, and it's certainly not like propagated by cops. But that's a different story that we have talked about before. Anyway, so look, all I'm saying is that maybe what Los Angeles is doing to solve their homeless problem is totally wrong.
Well, basically, whatever it is, it's not working.
Well,
it's not effective. It's not good. When it's having the opposite effect of what you were intending it to do, you're doing something wrong, and it needs to be changed.
Well, you would think that, but come on now, this is California.
California's answer is no, we're just not throwing enough money at it. Give us more.
There it is.
Give us more money. That's always their answer. Give us more money and we can fix it. We swear this time.
Right.
We promise this time. We were never wrong. Just give us more money.
I understand that Los Angeles in specific has been saying this exact same thing since 1970, at least, which means only 48 years.
Right.
In which time they have said every single time, well, if we just had some more money.
Right.
Which is how they got this budget to begin with.
Just flood us with more money to give into public programs to give more free stuff out.
Yeah.
The problem won't grow.
Exactly.
It's kind of like if you keep feeding something, it's going to continue to grow. You keep feeding the problem money and it keeps growing.
Well,
something tells me maybe you cut off the money and the free shit, the problem would stop growing.
Well, it's the stray cat issue, right? You don't feed stray cats because otherwise they show up to get food.
Right. And they show up in larger numbers consistently, more and more.
Weird. It's almost like the exact same problem that Los Angeles is having. And has been having for almost half a century.
Right. I mean, it reminds me of what we were talking about last week for California, the RV thing.
Yeah.
That guy wasn't even a California resident. He came here for a surgery.
Right. And yet, just stuck around.
And just stuck around to live the homeless life. It's kind of like back to you incentivize them by giving them free shit, and they decide to stay because they keep getting free shit.
Right. But that guy said he wanted to leave, therefore, thanks.
Yeah, he's been here for years. He's definitely recovered from his surgery by now.
Hadn't he been here since 2004 or something like that?
Right. But he intends to go home, so it's not the problem.
Right.
Bull fucking shit.
Well, I mean, come on, man. Have you considered that if we would have just bought that guy an RV and paid his registration and given him general assistance, that 1, he would not be homeless, 2, his RVs would not get impounded, and 3, he would be fed.
If we just gave it all to him?
Yeah. Fuck
you. He's already on Social Security. He's already effectively getting more than general aid would give him.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's...
They obviously, back to as they would say, well, it's not enough.
Right.
It's never enough. Give him more. Give him more. Everybody else who's willing to do so, work your fucking fingers down to the bone, destroy your body so that we can afford to pay for these lazy-ass motherfuckers who won't do shit for themselves. Fuck you. That's not the answer.
Do you know what state you live in?
I do.
That's damn near treason, man.
I know, and I don't care. I've lived here my entire life. I have been in those poor and horrible, impoverished areas and disenfranchisements and quote-unquote the poor people. The problem is motherfuckers are lazy. They don't get up off their asses. They'd rather sit on their porch, drink their 40s, smoke their weed, instead of go out and get a fucking job and take care of themselves. They can get fucked.
And I'm supposed to be the main conservative one around here.
Well, I'm sorry. When it comes to this, it's like, this is where I grew up.
Yeah.
So when people's like, well, we need to listen to people because it's a learned experience for them. That was my childhood. These fuckers don't deserve it. Fuck off.
Well, so you're going to have a problem there, right? Because,
of course I am.
Again, have you considered that if we just gave them a bunch of shit, everything would go well? And by the way, this would not incentivize more people to show up.
No.
Just like Los Angeles.
Just like Los Angeles. No. They're going to say the answer is we just give them more stuff and the problem will go away. No, the problem won't go away. But it's going to create another problem if you just take away the stuff.
Yeah, sure.
Because they're already going to be here. You're not giving them free stuff anymore, but they need the stuff, so they're just going to go fucking punk people in the back of the head and take it from them instead.
Oh, so what you're saying is we never get rid of a social welfare program.
No. I'm saying that people should take more responsibility with their children, raise them properly to actually have a work ethic and a sense of responsibility so they don't turn into fuckheads like this.
And that's the end of our show for the day.
That's right. It's taco time.
However, before we go, we'd appreciate it if you shared us around.
You can find us on YouTube,
BitChute,
Facebook,
Twitter,
Patreon,
and Maker Support.
Thanks for stopping by.